Good morning. This is Ron Brown. It is the 21st of November 2020. Going to take a quick look at the markets and see what I can see. Going to go into my user groups, into the major market analysis, into folder number 4 under market analysis user groups. This is where I usually start. Going to click on the warehouse view. Bring this over here. I'm using my webinar scans, which are available to all Insider Club members. Just download and install my add-on. I'm going to go to folder number 3, and I'm going to go to view number 3, which is demand supply advancing issues versus declining issues. Now, the raw combo sorts on advancers versus decliners. If you want to see the percentage gain of these indexes, just click on number 2. This is sorted on percentage price change 1 day. And you can see that the Russell was the biggest gainer yesterday. Just look over here to the column that says percentage price change 1 day and 5 days, and you can see there's been some strength in the small caps, the Russell, and the small cap institutional index, which I put together, also the S&P small cap index. So that's where the strength has been over 1 and 5 days. I'm going to go back down to number 3. And on Friday, the advancers in the Dow utilities were 1.14 to 1, so 8 to 7. There really wasn't much strength, and the market sold off going into the close. The all NASDAQ was around even. The sectors were even, and so on. So it was not a strong day in the market, but you can see over a 5-day period, the small caps were doing well, or I could say did well. So where do we go from here? Obviously, nobody knows where we go from here, but the markets are trading at or near all-time highs, and it logically it doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's where the money is flowing, and that is the direction of least resistance. Now I'm going to just look at one of these indexes. I think I'll use the S&P 1500 because it is an index which consists of small caps, large caps, and medium cap stocks. I'm going to click on my chart views. Going to go up to folder number 2, HGSI index charts. Going to go to view number 5. This shows the percentage of stocks above specific moving averages, and you can see that the percent above the 20-day moving average, and the red line is the moving average. And this is moving up, but it's been flat for the past several days. The same thing above the 30, above the 50, and above the 200, but still above the moving averages, so that indicates strength. I'm going to drop down to the next chart, which is a chart I use a lot because it gives me a pretty good idea of market direction and strength. The colors down here are VPA colors, and they're colored according to the trend. And my crosshairs right here, notice the best fit, which is a mathematical formula. Long term is up, medium's up, and short term is up. Also, if I look at the flag over here, you can see the 200, the 100, the 50, the 18. So that means the fan is up. If the index is above all of those, that means the fan is up. And the last signal based upon this line right here, and I put this together many years ago, if the indicators are all green, we're going to get a dark green. And the S&P 1500 is still on a buy according to this chart. The 3 is above the 6, but barely. If the market is weak going into Thanksgiving, if that 3 crosses down through the 6, it's a sign that there is a short-term pullback. I'm not going to say correction. It's short-term pullback. But for now, the index looks pretty strong. I'm going to go back over here. I want to look at a couple of things before I move away from here. I'm going to click on the sectors index. I'll change to this group. And I'm sorted on raw combo, advancers versus decliners. The materials sector was the strongest. You can see that this is 1.55 to 1 on Friday. Healthcare, communications, technology. So we get a different look here. Consumer staples was the lowest, about 2 to 1 negative. Energy was around 2 to 1 negative also, not quite. Financials, industrials, but this is where the strength has been. And I believe, if I remember correctly, that when I did a video last week, that the materials index was at the top of the list. So let's just change to that group. You can see that there are 261 stocks in here. Now I want to show you something else. I'm going to go to up here. I'm in sectors right now and then going down. But if I go to sectors by industry and click through to the warehouse view, you can see that these numbers are totally different because there are sectors within sectors, and also on the advancing versus declining issues, the materials index now goes down to here. This is very helpful if you want to see where the strength in individual indexes contained within the materials sector is, or individual groups, I should say. This shows us that agricultural chemicals were where the strength was on Friday. Steel raw materials were next, and then precious metal and mining. So this is just a way to, well, it's one way where you can really concentrate on a sector and get visual insight into how this materials sector breaks out. Now let me just go to the other one quickly. Here's the regular sectors. See, the materials goes up on top, and all of the stocks are contained within here. So I'm going to go back once again to the sectors by industry, and I'll look at the materials index again, and it tells me that agricultural chemicals are on top, 8 to 1. Change to that group, and then I can go down to view number 6 here, and it shows me where the strength was within the agricultural chemicals. And let me go to a different chart. Here's what I'm looking for right in front of me. I'm going to go down to my, actually I think I'm going to go into the Wyckoff VFB charts. I like to look at this this chart here because it shows me different levels of strength based upon the Wyckoff principles and the Wyckoff filters that I've incorporated into HGSI, and you can see that this stock has heavy demand right now. It had heavy demand a couple of days ago, and before that it was showing Wyckoff characteristics. Now if you use this chart, if you click up here, choose create view, right down here in the comments section it tells you, I put this information in. Dark green, higher volume, wider spread, that's demand. Light green, wider spread on lower volume, that's lack of supply. Yellow is narrow price spread, lower volume, lack of supply. And cyan, narrower price spread, higher volume, demand. So this was a narrower price spread right here and right here than what we've seen right here. But it also had higher volume on these, and you can see that down here. That's why it's colored cyan. Interesting. I like to look at this chart just to give me a feel for demand. You can do this on any chart, of course. Let's look at CF Industries. Demand comes in clear down here at the bottom, and higher volume, widespread, and then a pullback, couple days, nothing serious, and then many more demand. So from this point, it's gone up 6 points. Okay, I don't know if you all knew that or not, but I thought I would just share it with you. Okay, I want to get back to where I was before. I'm going to choose my group. I'm going to go back into my groups. I call them my groups because I've put all of these together, broad market indices, and then I need to go down to number 3 in my webinar scans. Like I said, all Insider Club members have access to this. And I'm sorted on advancing issues versus declining issues. Now I've looked at the sectors. Let's take a quick look here at the industries index. This is sorting on advancing issues versus declining issues. And where was the strength? Look at this, agricultural chemicals. So rather than going into the sectors, had I come here first, immediately I would have seen very similar information. Ag chemicals, steel raw materials, advertising and marketing. The renewables are still doing very well. You can see that 17-4. Let me bring the renewables up. Look at the demand here on this chart. Yes, there's some green ones here. It just didn't break out. It came back down, and then you can see there's some accumulation coming into it. Remember, and I'll review this again for you. Light green, wider spread on lower volume, lack of supply. So accumulation in here on this index. These charts can be used for stocks or indexes. And then what happened? It took off again. So where are we in this group? Let's go take a look. Once again, I'm going to go down to 6 because this is end of day Bellard power supply or systems. I'm sorry. And you can see that it moved up nicely on Friday. How about fuel? This is a cheap stock, which has been really holding up very well. Here's a Broadwind Energy, which it's been a tough one to be in. I was in this one, made some money, and I think I gave most of the money back. But here it's taking off again. SEDG, a large stock, which you can see how with these yellow lines in here. Once again, I'm going to do this. Narrow price spread, lower volume, lack of supply. So there's a lack of supply in here as it's being accumulated. Now if you look over here on Ballard, you can see the VPA volume, VPA spread, VPA close. These are Wyckoff indicators. That's where the strength is, the strongest stock in the group. And as you work down the list, it becomes less and less. Okay, I'm going to move on. I want to get into some new users, a couple of new user smart groups that I put in. For those of you who are attending the webinar, you already know about them. But for those of you who are Insider Club members, you need to know this too. Okay, one thing I noticed is that, as I built these, there's just too many of them. And so what I did is I created another folder, Webinar Smart Groups Most Used. And I want to point out that I've added a couple of scans here. Intraday most active up, intraday price up, high relative volume. These can also be found up here, but it was just getting too congested, so I needed another folder. Let's take a look at these two. These are two that I created this week, and here's another one. I'll explain these very quickly for the rest of this video, and then that'll be it for the day. I'm going to hit my alternate space bar, go to all securities here, back to the designer, and even though this says intraday, this is filled in because I have Thinkorswim running in the background on the weekend, and it will fill in the intraday prices. So during the week, if you're using these, you have to I'm on the wrong menu here. You have to rebuild the user SmartGroups to get the data up to date. So let me do that one more time, and then I'm going to go in here and we're going to take a look at the most active up. So you can see all of these stocks are up yesterday. This column right here is green based upon the demand end of day blink charging. This I should have been in this stock. I pointed it out or talked about it, and as usual I got diverted. I shouldn't be talking, I should be trading. But anyway, that's the way it goes. There will be more stocks like this. Look at the demand here. This is why I like using this chart. This stock was under accumulation based upon the Wyckoff principles, and here it took off. It started taking off right here, and what a massive move off of this low. I'm going to do an alternate A, where we first started getting some Wyckoff indications and where it closed on Friday, up 181.9% over 16 days. If you can hang on to these, tremendous run. Okay, here's a stock that several guys on the Skype board. If you haven't joined the Skype board, you should, because good ideas come up early in the morning, and several people on there rode this stock and made a lot of money last week. You can see it sold off going into the close. Look at this one's cheap stock, doesn't matter. Nearly doubled. Bally, look at this one. Look at all these Wyckoff signals. Let me put another chart up here. This is move this one up a little bit. Okay, I'm using these here. This is a weekly chart, 1A. That's what I want here. The Wyckoff charts are up above. I'm using this one right here, number 6. So the weekly chart, look down here in the right-hand corner. You can see the daily and the weekly. And this stock, over the last 3 weeks, has really done quite well. Let's look at one more. Not familiar with this stock. Weekly trend is really not quite up, but that doesn't matter. Here's another one that the guys on the Skype board. I made some money on this one too. Shot up and had a huge run. Just for curiosity, out of curiosity, I'm going to go in and let's see if this works. I'm doing this on the fly. Okay. I don't know if I can do this or not. Let's try it. Okay, I have the most active. And going to do it from November. I'll do it from Friday. Well, I'll do it from the open on Monday to the close yesterday. Opening price, closing price. Let's see if this works. And most active up over that time period. You can see that these are the gains over that time period for this group of stocks. So here's this group of stocks, 35% over 5 days from Monday to Friday. Some of these gains were just unbelievable, and there were no losers. Now, this isn't a fair comparison. I just want to show you that, what some of these stocks have done over that time period. and they came out of the this the screen. No, I did that wrong. Let me redo this. What I need to do is click on this and go into my saved user SmartGroups. Webinar SmartGroups. November. And these, I haven't saved this one yet today, so this will be one. No, that's too many. 1, 2, 3, 4. Check children. And let's see if this works. Okay, yes, it did work. So over the week, these are the stocks that appeared most often. CBAT was number one. You can see it started appearing on Monday, and these are all of the user smart groups where it appeared. So let's take a look at CBAT, RVP. We already looked at Blink, so we'll look at CBAT and RVP. These are all user smart groups that I put together. Okay, CBAT. Not in here today, so I'll just type it in. You can see it had a huge move up and then it sold off. This is the danger of chasing. And let's see, this is Monday, Tuesday, this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So the biggest move, of course, was here on Monday. If I'd have gone back a couple of weeks, you can see that CBAT was under accumulation with these Wyckoff rules. And the other one's RVP. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here's Monday. It made the big move starting here. And it's kind of stalling out now with a spinning top, long-legged doji. But once again, accumulation down here, and then it finally went. These are negative candles. They're black, but it was holding steady. Okay, I think you've got the idea on there. That was just a diversion. I wanted to try it. So most active, lots of stocks are coming up in the most active. Let me bring that HTML up again. Control F opens a box up here. I'm going to type in most I'm not doing a good job on this. MOSTACTIVE. I want to go up. If you look to the far right here, these yellow lines on the right side of the browser here indicate where most active is coming up. So there's a most active on Blink, and that wasn't until recently. So I need to come in here and see what came up a lot. So since I'm using the Wyckoff demand in my chart, I'm going to put that in there. Going to do a Control F. And you can see that Wyckoff demand is showing up on multiple days during the week. This is Monday, Tuesday. So what does this tell me? Look at all these Wyckoff demand scans here. What does that tell me? It tells me I should be looking at Wyckoff demand scans every day. And if the stock shows up at the most active, just go back and look, see how many demand scans there are. Interesting. All right, I got to move on from here. So this is most active. This is something you should scan every day if you're doing it intraday. This is high relative volume, very similar type screen. Here's something I want to show you. I did this at the webinar the other day. I'm going to go into the designer. And I'm going to go under File. I'm going to compare groups. And I want to compare these two groups. The high relative volume group and the intraday most active group. Okay, so these two I'm comparing. What this allows me to do, or us to do, not just me, is look at the information here. There are 23 or 27 in the high relative volume group, 27 only. These are the ones with only. There's 50 per group in the most active and 23 in both groups. So if I click on this, it shows me the stocks that are in the intraday price up high relative volume. This is the most active group only. These stocks are only in there. But in both groups, there are, I need to go back, 23 in both groups. So, you know, you get similar stocks. If you want to track the ones that are in both groups, or any of these groups for that matter, click on Copy Signals. This box pops up. You do a Control-C. Going to close it. I'm going to go into Compare Stocks and Groups. I have an empty folder here. I'm going to edit this group. I'm going to paste the list. So these are the stocks that are in both groups. You can see there are 23 of them. And if you're interested in comparing this, or you can compare any group. If you want to compare a fundamental group with a technical group. Anyway, just showing you how you can do this. And these are the stocks that are showing up in most active, or they showed up in most active and also high relative strength. That's one I already looked at. Net element was very strong yesterday. Once again, look at the Wyckoff signals in here. Okay, let's go back here. I want to quickly look at these others. So these are new down here. I'm sorry, these two are new. This I dragged down. It's quality momentum scans, $10 and up. Trend combo. This is a combo that looks for stocks that has all the trends up plus the fan up. Here's Blink. You're seeing a lot of the same stocks here. Let me see if I can find one. Let's look at Sunworks. Cheap stock, but the trend long is up, medium's up, short's up, and also if I were to drop down here to my context charts is what I'm looking for. You can see that the fan is up, so this qualifies on all of them, okay? That's what this one does, and then there's one more in here. Added the ERG 240 at a customer request, and the ERG has to be a minimum of 240. Look at that right on the nose, which means it's a sum of the earnings per share rank, relative strength rank, and group rank. Earnings are not good, but the relative strength is very good, and the group is very good. So that's the minimum. Let's look at, I want to find something I haven't looked at yet. How about Yeti? Yeti is out, I believe, to an all-time closing high. Let's look at the weekly. It's a closing high. It's not an all-time high, but it's very close. Let's look at the monthly. You can see how strong this is. Go back to the weekly here. And big shakeout here on the daily. But look at the ERG, 283. And after this shakeout, here's a demand, a lack of supply, and then it is taking off again. So once again, I think this chart is very useful. Okay, let's see if that's it, if I have anything else to cover. Okay, I'll just comment on this one. This is a very good scan here if you're looking for low risk entries. It's a VPOC volume point of control 2-day window, 3-6-day crossover. Click on this. Let's look at the top one, APRE. This I need to go back to. I need to go to a different folder here. I'm going to go to number 3 and stocks end of day, because it has the columns here that I want. The days down since the 3 crossed the 6. I'll be changing some of those other views in the future. I just haven't had time to do it. But you can see that the 0 days means that there was a crossover. And now I'm going to go down here to chart number 3. And you can see that this stock had a big day on Friday. Here's a test, confirmation of that test, effort to rise, and the 3 is crossing through the 6. You can see that on the histogram spike here and the volume spike. So this is one that should probably be looked at on Monday, see what caused that big spike. Doesn't have much going for it as far as relative strength. Quick add to group. User groups, watch list, new, 2020, 11, 20, because it's Friday's data. I'm just going to take a look at that on Monday and see if I can, or before Monday. Anyway, the crossover is today. If there's a 1 beside it, that means it crossed over day before yesterday, like right here. And look at the follow through on this stock. So here was the crossover. You can see it. Can't see it very well. Well, you can see it up here, but I put the histogram in so we can get a visual on it. And there is a green histogram line there, so that means it was a crossover, and I know that because there's a 1 beside. Now here's another one crossed over on this day, followed through yesterday. EXPI. This was stock has been in was in great favor, and it looks like it's maybe trying to go again. Notice that all of my prospecting, it's pretty much based on technicals. Valuations mean absolutely nothing anymore in the stock market. When I started, I used to read Value Line, go to the library, do things like that. Totally irrelevant anymore because valuations are just ridiculous. It's all based upon momentum. You have to get in and play and just start slugging it out, I guess. Anyway, here's BABA. You can see that it crossed today after a major sell-off. So I like that one. That's why it's down in the list here. So now I've gone on long enough. I'm going to sign off. I want everybody, of course, to be safe. Wear your mask. Wash your hands. Don't mess with this virus because it's, as you well know, it's killing a lot of people. Millions of people worldwide are dying. Hospitals are being overrun. Don't become a victim of the virus. Thanks for listening, and have a nice Thanksgiving.